to another one of our episodes of the Dunwoody Dialogues. We're always thrilled to have all of you join us, and we are interviewing people that are very interesting, that can complement Dunwoody, or maybe people even from Dunwoody. I am Mark Galvin. I'm the Director of Marketing at Discover Dunwoody. This show is going to be focused on the film industry. The entertainment industry is something we are leaning into here at Discover Dunwoody. We have a great guest that we want to introduce all of you to today. Meet Brennen Dicker. Brennen, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
That's my pleasure. And you are Brennen, not Brendan.
That's right.
Not Brennen.
No.
Brennen.
Brennen is what I like to be called, and that's what my name is. And although it gets butchered from time to time, it is Brennen Dicker, yes.
Yeah, when I saw your name the first time, I thought, I have to make sure I do not call you Brendan.
Thank
so
you
I bet
very
you
much.
have
I
that happen
appreciate that.
sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I am thrilled you were here. You're a heavyweight. You're a big guy. Did you know that?
I'm becoming quite
well,
big lately.
As
so.
you know, you and I were talking about, once you're north of 50, it becomes easier to become
Exactly.
a big guy,
That's right. Become a heavyweight.
But it's not that kind of big guy I'm talking about. You are the executive director of, and I'm going to be careful here, I'm going to say it right, the Creative Media Industries Institute at Georgia State University.
That is correct. Yes.
That is fantastic. And I'm going to call the group CMII from now on. This is a new-ish. Mm-hmm. It's probably the right way of saying it. You said it started in 2017.
Yep, we opened our doors in 2017. Yep.
And you are interested in bringing in students to help educate them on new technologies.
That's right. We're teaching the next generation of storytellers through emerging technologies.
Isn't that fantastic? Well, before we get into that, because we're going to talk a lot about that, I want to share some of the other things that you've done. You were the general manager of SIM International Atlanta. What does SIM do?
SIM was a post-production and camera facility that basically coupled camera services and post-production services with larger episodics and features around the world.
Wow.
So we would go to Warner Brothers, HBO, NBC, CBS, and would create deals with them in servicing not only cameras but also their post-production needs.
Okay. Give me an example of some of the entertainment, the shows that you may have touched when you were in that space.
Yeah, when I was here, being from Atlanta, we were doing a lot of work with The Walking Dead, Vampire Diaries, the originals, Stranger Things. There were a number of shows that we worked on here in Georgia, but then also there were larger shows like Game of Thrones that we were doing post-production in Los Angeles. So it was an international company. We had offices in New York, LA, Vancouver, Toronto, and Atlanta.
Wow. Wow, that is incredible. So you're also director of sales at Crawford Media Services, mm-hmm. and again, still in the space, film and television.
That's right. And was part of the entertainment division when film and television, when the incentive took off. I happened to be there, which was a great thing, and we were able to work on a number of series here in Georgia.
So, and I'm not done yet, folks, there's even more. So, executive producer at American Mongrel Productions, that's out of Chicago.
Yep.
Board of directors at the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival, which we love because we're sponsoring the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. We love that. That's really, hyper-focused in the Dunwoody area.
That's right.
We have such a strong Jewish community here.
And we appreciate your support.
Absolutely. And then you're also, which is how we cross paths with you,
yeah.
You are on the Georgia Screen and Entertainment Coalition.
That's correct.
Which we're also a member of. And so our executive director, Ray Ezell, and Brennan ran into each other and started a conversation.
Yeah.
So you come with unbelievable amount of experience in the entertainment space. But let's talk about what your focus is now at
the
of course. CMII. So share with us, because we didn't jump into it. What do you do there, and why do you do it?
Well, we opened our doors, like I said, in 2017 at Creative Media Industries Institute in downtown Atlanta, Georgia, at Georgia State University. We had approximately about 150 students in our program, and as I said before, we teach the next generation of digital storytellers through emerging technology, which include game design, game development, media entrepreneurship, and we just started our first Master of Fine Arts program last year in an MFA program in virtual production and visual effects. So really we touch on all of these various areas where students come in, they receive their undergraduate in these different degrees, and they get to learn virtual production, motion capture, volumetric capture, all these different things that are really emerging technologies in that space.
Wow. All right. So,
And now we have, just to be clear, we started with 150. Currently, we have over 900 students in the program. So that just shows the tremendous growth that we've had over the past 6
and
years.
demand,
Definitely.
of course, in our state.
Definitely.
All right, I am a pedestrian. We start talking about all the things that you mentioned. How are the components of what you're teaching at CMII impact a final production? So if I was watching Game of Thrones, as for example, what do you find that the people that graduate from your program, what will they end up changing or producing or whatever it may be, that when I watch that, so somebody from Georgia State had made that dragonfly or something like that. What is it that they can do?
I think that what we really started with, and this, technology is changing so quickly. And 5 or 6 years ago, we were looking at game design and game development as one of our big majors. And so our students were learning how to create worlds in gaming, specifically for video games. And so what we saw 5 or 6 years ago was production companies started looking at different ways of economizing what they were doing, and they wanted to shoot more on stage rather than actually on location. And so they started putting LED walls behind them, and similar to the green screen that you might have seen in Marvel movies and things like that.
Yeah, and I think an example, I think I've seen this recently. There was a production I was watching, and people were on a balcony of a condo in the scene, and behind them was a bay, and there were boats moving and such.
Exactly.
I bet all that was one of those
It was
digital
all
screens.
a digital screen, yeah. And a good example of that is if you ever get to watch The Mandalorian is a good example, which is a series where it's all shot on a stage. But even when I look at it, I can't distinguish whether you're there in a desert or wherever they are, because it's so well done. And so 5 years ago when we started down this path, we realized that if we could teach our game design students not only to build virtual worlds in gaming, they could build virtual worlds in virtual production for these companies. And so we're right at the cutting edge of all of this technology. There are now studios coming out. Trilith Studios has a big virtual production stage. And when you look at the assembly and all these other stages that are coming up, they'll eventually have these stages as well with virtual production, because it's something that eventually we're seeing productions actually wanting to save money and stay on set. So it's a real big game changer within production. It's also a great game changer for our students that not only that could create a game, but they could also go into virtual production, or they could actually use their skills to get into virtual reality and augmented reality. So all of these skills are in one. Yeah, it's incredible, just the workforce development and what opportunities they'll have as opposed to just doing gaming. So it's a really game changer for us.
For the record, I think we just went through my first 2 questions all in one.
Yeah.
This is great. What I think is fascinating is there's traditionally there would be a lot of post-production, and let's go way back. Let's go to the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of things they had to do after production to finish off those scenes. It sounds like technology today is allowing productions to do a lot of things where it's more done when it gets to post-production. Is that true?
Yeah, you're right on point with that. What we're seeing is typically in film, there was a pre-production, production, and post-production path. And so in production you would shoot, and you may have a lot of green screen or visual effects you were doing, and you would do those visual effects in post-production at the end of the movie.
Right. And that's got to be hard. You got to remember what am I
That's
growing
right.
and how do I, and there's a lot of project management there.
But technology is allowing us, as with visual effects artists, to actually do the visual effects on the stage,
Kind of like in
especially
real time.
in real time.
Yeah.
And it allows directors to see in real time what they have. So this changes the game quite a bit. Now, I don't want to, there still is visual effects being implemented in post-production.
Sure.
It's still a part of it. But so much more of what we're seeing is now being done in the production path. So much more is done in production. So all of this has to line up, and it gives the director an opportunity and gives them a lot more options, to change things up when they can see it done in real time rather than in post-production.
And
so it's a huge step in creating something where even when we were shooting film in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, you have to wait for the film to be developed, You have to go through that process. And now you have cameras like you're using today that are 4K that have all of this technology built in, and it allows us to look at everything as we're shooting it, where we didn't have that opportunity when I started in the business. It was all film, and you kind of had to guess. You waited to see the next day in dailies what your film looked like because you had to process the film.
Just so amazing. I would think that the actors have an easier job because they're not trying, they don't have to imagine where the space is. They can kind of look at the back and feel like The Mandalorian's a good example. They're in and out of these foreign cities, if you will.
Yeah.
Towns is probably a better way of looking at it. Walking up down the street, and it must feel like, okay, I'm really there. Whereas before, it was all green screen.
Yeah, it was all green screen, and you could tell when you see, behind the scenes with Marvel or all these films, and especially when we were working with Trilith and some of the Marvel series there, all was green screen. So you didn't know what was going on as a bystander coming in. I can't imagine being an actor in that kind of environment and having to play and pretend that you're in this world when you don't even see where you're at. But now that's changing so much because they're, with virtual production, the LED, they can actually feel like they're in that world because it's all around them. Oh, yeah. Well, we might want to ask an actor. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, okay, well, hold on. You just said that you did some work with Marvel down at Trilith?
Well, this was during, we have different professors of practice that work on various shows. One was Suicide Squad that one of our professors of practice at CMII worked at. One of the very interesting things about CMII is that we hire over 60% of our faculty are professors of practice, meaning they're in the industry and they also teach. And so at other institutes, you may not see that necessarily. So we have we still have the traditional lecturers, we have PhDs that are teaching the students, but also professors of practice, because that really ties the institute to industry. And that's really why I'm there, is to make that bridge and make that connection with the students so they have that opportunity.
Yeah. So did you ever think you would get in academia?
No.
Your all of your history was hands-on. Yeah.
Yeah. My father was a professor of computer science, and my mother was a teacher. So I have a lot of respect for people in academia. I never intended to go down this road. I never thought that I'd actually be in this position that I'm in now.
Oh, I think that's fascinating. Well, so here you are. You're in Atlanta. This is a pretty diverse city. There's a lot of different cultures that are part of our fabric.
No doubt.
What are you guys doing at CMII to make sure that you are creating a diverse workforce and making sure everybody succeeds?
Well, one known fact that a lot of people don't realize is that Georgia State University graduates more African American students than any other public university in the country.
Oh, wait a minute, in the country?
In the country, yes.
I did not know that.
So that's one of the things. So we as an institute are the most diverse media institute in the country. We have over 60% diverse students that make up our student body, and over 50% women that are in the program. So it's unlike any other institute, media institute specifically, that's in the country. So just that fact alone brings in so much diversity, and the storytelling you get out of that is incredible as far as the students that are coming in. So we're really fortunate to have that type of student body at GSU and at CMII.
That's so interesting, and because of, and I went to Georgia State, and I certainly, when I was there, it was still extremely diverse, and it is situated right in downtown Atlanta, and it's one of those universities that is probably doesn't get the credit it deserves for how it complements the city, because it is a mini metropolis within a metropolis.
That's right. When you
downtown.
we're looking at 35,000 students downtown, another 20,000 on the perimeter. So we have approximately 50,000 students that are going. The largest university in Georgia, and also one of the largest in the country.
Absolutely amazing. Okay. I could talk about that a lot more. We could talk about Georgia State football. I would really like them to do better.
They're getting there. They're getting there. And their basketball team isn't that bad either. So
hey, listen, when I was there, they made it to they got it to the tournament.
That's great. That's fantastic.
They certainly have that opportunity. Let's talk about visual effects. And you're launching a visual effects program in the fall, or you launched. This isn't past tense. In fall of 22. How is this program going to make CMII better?
I think it allows us, again, we have all of these talented faculty members, both that are professors and also professors of practice. And we wanted a program where we could really hone in on virtual production and visual effects. And an undergraduate can only do so much because of the time that you have with them. You can specialize in the field a little bit more once you get into a graduate program. And that allows our students to really hone in on the virtual effects and visual effects, the virtual production and visual effects, and allows us to give them more time to really do more storytelling, more in-depth storytelling. And I think that's really helped us out in a number of ways. One was we had an opportunity to work with Francis Ford Coppola last fall, and his visual effects team came to CMII to do what they call volumetric capture, where we capture their actors and performers virtually and make an avatar of them so we can put them in scenes of the movie. And so that in itself, to have that type of opportunity for students to work with such a, if I may call him a GOAT, the greatest of all time, one of the greatest of all time directors,
Right.
to come in is really stunning and remarkable. And the only reason we were able to do that is because we are really on the cutting edge of that type of filmmaking and that type of work.
So I will tell you, I think that's fascinating, and you probably get students that are interested in the program once they find out that you were working with Francis Ford Coppola and his team. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? What is it about our region or our state that makes this a successful program? Because let's be honest, there are some parts of the country that have this program may not get anybody interested. There's something going on that's making this desirable and needed in our state.
Yeah. Well, this goes back to the incentive that I guess I think we're talking about 2005 to 2008, where we actually boosted the incentive program for the state in film and television. And that's what brought all the work here to Georgia. Without the incentive, I don't think we'd have much of a workforce. We'd have a workforce in film and television, but it'd be much smaller in size. Right. And so that really put us on the map for filmmaking, a combination of things there. We had a lot of talented filmmakers that graduated from GSU, UGA, a lot of our state schools, SCAD, that were all here that had gone out west to LA or to New York to shoot. And a lot of those people came back during this film incentive. And so we had a lot of people coming back to the state of Georgia, as well as new people that got to learn who we were, Atlanta and Georgia. Coupled with CNN and Time Warner having the studios here, certainly helped us.
Sure.
And really just the topography of Georgia. You have shooting the mountains, you've got the beaches, you've got the cityscape of Atlanta, you have Savannah, you have Augusta, you have Columbus, you have all these different towns that are here that have a different look and feel. And I think that really helped with Hollywood coming out to scout locations for their television series and their features. And all of this just came about at the same time with investors coming in like Dan Cathy, like Trilith, like the Assembly that's going on with Hilton Howell and what he's done here. All of these people have come together and have really created something great in our state. And as we see now, that growth is tremendous, and that there was a demand for a workforce. And Governor Deal really saw that as a time where he could start the Georgia Film Academy, which helped get below the line workers up and running, along with CMII now that we're really on the emerging technical side of things in production. And all of that has really given us a workforce to lead us now to have 95% of the jobs in Georgia are Georgia jobs that are below the line. So
fantastic.
We're now getting to above the line, the producer's side of it and the director's side of it, and we'll get there, keeping the incentive alive and keeping that work. We'll continue the workforce that we have.
It is an amazing thing to me when you look at how many people are impacted by this film tax incentive, including us. Here in Dunwoody, we're hoping to get a number of people to stay in our hotels that are going to Assembly Atlanta, which is just 12 minutes down the road, 12 minutes set to bed. We're thrilled to see that this incentive is helping here in Dunwoody put a lot of people to work and keep them employed. And they don't even look like they have anything to do with the film industry, because it'll help us get room cleaners to clean rooms. It'll help getting front desk agents to work. Servers at restaurants. All these folks will have more opportunities because of the film tax credit, and so the trickle-down effect is tremendous.
It's tremendous, and I think we've seen this throughout the state. I mean, it's not
Wow.
just happening in Atlanta, but I had an opportunity to be down in Valdosta a couple weeks ago and see, not only the program that they have at the university, but also all the productions that are going on down there, as well as in Savannah itself. Savannah has its own credit that they have there. So it's spreading throughout the state, and that makes it just really exciting to see students coming from rural Georgia as well as in the urban areas and getting an opportunity to be a part of it, and to see all of what we're seeing in restaurants and hotel and hospitality, all of what the benefit is to have these productions in.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I think it's, as a Georgian, as a native Atlantan, I've always thought that our state had very diverse topography, because if you go up north, you're in mountains. They are not mountains like your native state of Colorado, but
right.
there's still mountains there. And then when you get down around south of Macon, it gets very flat.
Yeah.
And so it looks very different. And then you get into Savannah, and Savannah's this classic ocean town. As a matter of fact, one of the most famous scenes that we all know from movie is at Forrest Gump.
That's right.
And
the
Forrest
bench.
Gump is right there in Savannah. So really cool, and it's great for our state that we have all of this happening, and we'll get a lot more attention in the little. I must admit, every time I watch anything,
Yeah.
be it television or film, I make sure I go through the credits because I want to know if it was filmed in Georgia.
And our games that are here, the gaming companies have the Georgia Peach as well. When they turn on the game, it'll pop up.
It pops up.
It's yet another branding opportunity for Georgia, which is incredible. And I've been in Europe in a hotel room and just having the television on, and I'd see that Georgia Peach pop up, and I just think to myself, again, the marketing opportunity is fantastic for our state.
It is good. All right, one last question for you is, you guys are doing such great work. There are organizations that would like to interact with you. How do you guys interact? How do you choose which organizations, like the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival, do you get involved with, and how can those organizations reach out to you guys and kind of identify that?
Yeah, I think, the best thing is to, go to our website, obviously, at cmii.gsu.edu, or just Google us at Creative Media Industries Institute, and it'll pop up. But we're really looking for not only, we obviously work for larger companies as well, but, organizations that want to tie into us. We really want to make sure that there's student involvement in that, and that the students get an opportunity. We have a very robust internship program at CMII, and that's something we really pride ourselves with, to getting our students out there, because we can give them the foundation of a graduate or undergraduate degree, but really they need the connection and the bridge to industry to get the soft skills that they need to get a job. And so it's important to do both of those things.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, I want everybody to know that website. So share with everyone, what is your website, and where can people find out more about you, Brennen?
Sure. It is cmii.gsu.edu or Google Creative Media Industries Institute. Will pop up there. As far as me, you can look me up on LinkedIn, I think would probably be the best thing. It's Brennen Dicker. I don't know what my call signs are, but you can just do a search on there. And
Brennen Dicker, GSU, Brennen Dicker, CMII.
That's right, yeah. But not Brandon Dicker, Brandon Decker.
Very important.
Yes,
BRENNEN.
That's right.
That E in the back is very important.
That's right. So you can do that, and that's the best way to get in touch with me. And I appreciate the time and being able to be here today.
Well, this is fantastic, and we're thrilled that you would make time to come see us here in Dunwoody, because the executive director of an organization at Georgia State University, the largest university in the state, running a program that you're at 900 students now. I hope you have more capacity.
We do. We're hoping to get over 1,000 in the next year or two.
And I have a feeling that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen because of this video right here.
Exactly.
Brennen, thanks for coming today.
Thanks, Mark.
We so appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Folks, we love you watching our video series. We do appreciate the time you take to watch these, and we're hoping we're sharing information that you find extremely interesting. I want to thank the two people behind the camera that you don't get to see, Madison Holtz, who is our producer, and also Emily Inser Gibson, which will change her name soon. She is our sound technician, and we love the work that they do. Do remember, we would love for everyone in Dunwoody, or if you're not even Dunwoody and you want a sticker, we'd love for you to have one. These are fantastic. They are removable. You can put them on the back of your car. You can stick them anywhere, actually. They're great for PCs even. They're at the library. You can go to the city hall, or you can come here and get them. So we'd love for you to come get them. They are free. Other cities charge you for them. We want you to have these, and these are absolutely free. So anywhere you want, you can even send us a note and say, hey, mail it to us. We'd be happy to throw it in the mail to you. On behalf of the entire Discover Dunwoody team, I am so thrilled that you are watching today. Please join us again. And until you do, come and discover Dunwoody.